Everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. Today I want to show you, actually going to give you a bit of a sneak peek of one of the new products from the upcoming July to December mini catalog from Stampin' Up! Comes out August 3rd, so a little bit of a delay this year, but August 3rd for customers. And so I've used it to create a really pretty thank you card that is part of the International Blog Highlights blog hop, the winners blog hop. So I was very honored, and I want to thank everybody for voting. I was number 2 in the blog hop, and so therefore I get to be part of a winners blog hop that went live today. And this is the card that I shared. So it features the Nature's Harvest bundle product collection from the new mini catalog, as I said, which will go live to customers as of August 3rd. So I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek. I love this bundle. It is just so pretty. And I love the dies that go with it. So there are dies to cut out stamp sets, but there are other dies that just give you great shapes. So I'm just going to switch over to my desktop and I will show you my card and show you some of the products. Okay, so this is the card that I shared as part of the thank you, or the part of the winners blog hop today. The theme of the winners blog hop and also the International Highlights blog hop is always thank you. So I have used the Nature's Harvest collection. So the bundle, actually I think it's called Harvest Meadow, is the collection, and the stamp set is called Nature's Harvest. Great cone flowers, some really pretty sentiments mixed, kind of a typewriter font, and then some kind of old-fashioned, very kind of antique looking font on these ones. And then these great dies. So you get the dies that will cut out those 2 flowers. And then you get some label dies that fit perfectly some of the sentiments, like that. But you get these great shapes to cut out some of the plants. So I've used this one for the cone flower, and this one, which look like sprigs, sheaths of wheat, I don't know. Anyway, they're kind of cool. Anyway, some great shapes that you get as part of these set of dies. I think that's why I love this set so much, is I love these extra dies that you get for the plants. All right, so that's the stamp set and the dies. I've also used this, I think it's called type, something like that. It's probably can't see it, but it's got kind of typewriting and then kind of antique, it's like a distressed look to it, but you can't see it. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see this any better, but this is see, there we go. So you can see that there are words kind of, can't read them very well, and then this distressed look to it. The other great part of this is cork. So this is cork specialty paper. It's actual cork. Comes in 12 by 12 sheets, and that cuts out great. It's got a kind of a craft paper backing on it, and it's really easy to cut out. And that's what I used to cut out this cone flower. So let me show you my card. Okay, so I've got a piece of cardstock. Don't need 2 pieces. Okay, a piece of cardstock that is cut 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it at 4.25, which, where's my bone folder? I'm just going to take and give it a good crease. There we go. Now, this designer series paper, I don't have all of it, but lots of great colors. I've got it here somewhere. Some really pretty designer series paper. I'll just quickly flip through. So this one looks kind of like pussy willows. I grew up with pussy willows. So this is in probably crumb cake Sahara sand. And then this really pretty one here. And then this is the one I used with the bumblebee on the back. Another really pretty one. This is Misty Moonlight with Calypso Coral. Let's see, more Calypso Coral. And on the back, Crumb Cake. Really pretty bumblebee with the cone flowers. And then some in mint macaron that is typed, kind of distressed with writing. What else? I think there's, oh, and then there's this one, really pretty with the bumblebee and Calypso Coral. And on the back, Crumb Cake plants. Isn't that pretty? So the colors that coordinate with this are Bumblebee, Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, Misty Moonlight, and Soft Succulent. Oh, I had that wrong. It isn't mint macaron, it's Soft Succulent. And they say that it's Cajun Craze. This looks more like Calypso Coral to me. So it'd be interesting to see if it goes with Calypso Coral. So pretty. All right, put that back over there. Okay, so we've got our piece of designer series paper. This is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. And if I can find my Stampin' Seal, I will adhere this to my card base. Make sure I get it going the right way. There is a definite right and wrong way for this one. Okay, I just love this paper. I think this is my favorite piece of paper that's in it. Okay, so now I'm going to just bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, if it doesn't cause everything over here to fall over. There we go. Ah, sorry about the noise. The cutting plates just went on the ground. All right, so got my cutting plates here. So I'm going to just take and trim this because this won't fit. Just going to trim my piece of cork to a size that'll fit. And I'm going to cut it out using this great cone shape. Try and make sure I can get as much, or use as little of this cork as possible so that I get as many pieces out of it. All right, so you can see how easy it is to cut out. That's the cork piece. And now I have to trim this as well. And I want to use this one. All right. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I want to use this sentiment label here, and I'm just going to cut it out. I'll stamp on it with my label, or with my sentiment. But while I have my machine here, I will cut that out as well. There we go. Now I can put this back. Okay, get that things back in center. Okay, so I have taken a piece of Misty Moonlight that is cut 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and then a piece of basic white that I have embossed using that great new embossing folder that is 2 1/2 by 4 and no, so 2 1/2 by 4. And this was 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And so I'm just going to adhere this embossed piece to the Misty Moonlight piece using Stampin' Seal. You can use your favorite adhesive. And then I'm going to find some dimensionals. There we go. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to put this onto my card base. So just put that in the middle. Did I put it in the middle? Yeah, I did. Put it in the middle. Now, use my take your pick tool to get my pieces out of the dies. That's one. And then I love coneflowers, or echinacea, I think they're called as well. It's probably the more common or proper name for them. All right, I'm going to trim this because I don't want it to be the same. I don't want it to be too tall. So I'm just going to take and trim this to the length of my piece, so just roughly. And I'm going to use multi-purpose adhesive glue. Bring in my silicone mat so I don't get the glue all over the place. So I'm going to just put a little bit of the multi-purpose adhesive glue, maybe. Just use this, I'm not sure why. That's why I use my silicone mat. There we go. Because sometimes when it doesn't want to come out, and you give it a good squeeze, and then you get a whole glob of glue on. All right, so there's multi-purpose adhesive glue on there. We'll just adhere this down like that. Press it down. Now I'm going to use mini dimensionals on my coneflower. You could use regular size dimensionals, but when you get down to the leaves, you're going to have to trim them. So I just find it easier to just use mini dimensionals all around. One more. All right, it's not behaving. Let's grab my take your pick tool. Sometimes I just can't get the backs off these minis. Too little. My fingers are too fat. All right, there we go. And then we'll just put that on. Actually, I want to trim this a little bit, so we'll put that on at the top like that. The leaves, and we'll trim the bottom off. There we go. Okay, now the last thing as far as the sentiment goes, we're going to stamp the thank you sentiment in Misty Moonlight. There we go, not too bad. I would have typically stamped first and then cut it out. That way you get a little bit more lined up piece, but that didn't work out too badly. All right, and then I missed a piece anyway. So I need to bring in my machine again, because we're going to cut another label out to add some backing to a little piece of Misty Moonlight color to the back of my sentiment. So I need to cut out another one of these labels. All right, there's that. I've got ink on my, or glue on my fingers. Now, always happens. Let's put the glue away before I get it all over the place. Okay, so this sentiment, or this label, is going to go on the back of this one just to add a little bit of blue, but they are the same size. So we're going to cut this in half lengthways. You could cut it in half on the short side as well, but I'm going to cut it lengthways. Put some Stampin' Seal down each side, each edge of my sentiment, And then we're just going to take and adhere this with just about 1/8 of an inch showing to the top and bottom of the sentiment label. That just gives you a bit of color behind your sentiment. People will go, well, how did you do that? Well, you cut it in half and then just add the little pieces. Okay, so now we're going to put this here like that. So I'm going to put a dimensional on one side, on this right-hand side, and Stampin' Seal on the other side. Because I've got this piece popped up, I don't want to put a dimensional there, otherwise it'll be too tall. So I'm just going to put the dimensional on the one side there. Okay, last part. The last piece of these collection are these brushed metallic adhesive back dots. They come in 3 colors, gold, copper, and not sure whether that's brass, not sure. Anyway, 3 different metallics, and so I'm just going to put one of each of the metallics on here, just to kind of finish off the card. And that is my card. Isn't that a great new suite from the new catalog? You are going to love this. I've got a few cards made that I will be sharing over the next while, but I just wanted to give you a bit of a sneak peek to the new catalog. All right, there we go. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you like the card. If you have any questions about the card, please post your questions underneath the video or on my blog. As I said, the written instructions, measurements, and the supply list for this are on my blog, and you will be able to find that link underneath the video. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd love for you to subscribe so that you get notified when I post upcoming videos. That way that you'll be able to find them and see them when I post them. So other than that, I think that's all I have for you today. So thanks very much for joining me. Happy stamping.